seasoned educationist and an administrator per excellence. Our guest today is an achiever and a woman of great vision, a hardworking individual with a resilient spirit to attain greater heights. You'll meet our guest after this break. This is the Sunday interview, and I am Azizat Olaoluwa. I'll be right back. Welcome back. My guest today is a passionate academic of repute. She has achieved a lot in the country's education sector. She's a chairman of many blue-chip companies in the country and is also a member of many international bodies and associations. She's also the founder and chairman of Crystalline schools. I am talking about High Chief Dr. Winifred Awosika. She's also the officer of the Order of the Niger. Thank you for joining us on the show, madam.
Thank you very much.
Even from your name alone, one would know that you are a woman with so many titles. How does it feel to be honored so far in the country?
I feel humble and appreciative of God's grace upon my life.
So, who is High Chief Dr. Winifred Awosika? Tell us about you.
Well, I was born in Owo, a town in the Ondo state of Nigeria. And I married another Ondo state indigene, the late Dr. Chief Victor Awosika. So I will call myself a full-fledged Ondo citizen.
I see.
But I've been living in Lagos now for more than 50 years.
Wow.
So I'm also a Lagosian. And above all, I'm a true Nigerian. I love my country, Nigeria.
God bless Nigeria. So tell us how growing up was like for you.
Well, I always refer to my childhood in the rural town of Owo, where things were quiet, where we used to go around watching masquerades without any fear whatsoever. And it was very lovely growing up in that environment. There were things of entertainment in a natural way. Actually, during Christmas time, after coming from church, if you go to the palace, all the communities in Owo will dance to the palace. And the Olowo will join every community and he will dance like one of them.
Wow.
The Igbo community will come, he will dance like an Igbo man. The Ibira community, that is from Kogi, he will dance all the steps. And I used to wonder as a child, that how does this man master all these dance steps? But it was beautiful growing up in that area in those days. Quiet, peaceful, safe.
Safe. All right, at age 78, you are still pretty much duty active. How do you keep up with your busy schedules at this age?
Well, I'm very close to my God. My God, the God of truth. And I say my prayers all the time, both night and day. And I allow God to guide me in everything I do. So it's a life of inspiration and pure awareness of the power of God through the Holy Spirit to guide me in everything I do. I wake up at night, say my prayers, not just for myself, but for my families, the Crystalline families, and all the other companies that we look after as each family, and for all Nigerians. And I feel happy playing this role. It's a fulfilling experience for me.
You are indeed a mother of many. And was that the passion you had that made you start Crystalline?
Yes, the Crystalline family, for example, when people ask me, how are your children? I say, is it the children from my womb or my extended family? The Crystalline family, Holy Trinity family, Chemo Pharma family, all the companies that my late husband and I have established, we are proud of our families. But most importantly, for me, Crystalline family is the largest and well, I won't say the dearest, but I think I'm permitted to say that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And talking about your late husband, tell us about him and how he supported you in starting your business, and of course, how life was after his demise.
Dr. Awosika was a very, very good husband and father. From the onset, he believed and emphasized it to me that the man is the breadwinner and the woman is the home manager. To stay at home, take good care of the children and everyone, while the man is the provider. And he did his best to provide for us. He worked very, very hard as a medical practitioner. But he was also a man of many parts. He was always writing. He was a good critic of whatever was happening in government, in business, in so many areas. But he was very hardworking and fulfilled. At first, he was reluctant to allow me to start something.
Oh, really?
But I was bored, and I was bored. Sometimes I would go out and work for a few months, and when I was pregnant, I would stop, and I would, until I went for my postgraduate diploma in education. But even then, after I did that, he still did not allow me to go out to work until I did my postgraduate 74, 75, but I started Crystalline at 77. After a lot of pressure and pleading and, scheming, my friend said, start something. You will not object. So I started something in our boys' quarters. So the day he came there and saw the layout, he really marveled.
Wow.
He said, I didn't know it means so much for you to do something. I thought you are happy that I'm taking care of you, buying you cars, making sure you dress well, everything you need, I provide. But now I can see that you genuinely want to do something. So from that time, he supported me. He gave me land. He became very supportive.
He was a very supportive husband. Now tell us about your children, raising them, and the relationship you have with them now that they've grown.
You see, when you live with your children, you are close to them as babies, as they are growing up. It has many advantages. So the time of home that we built was very, very happy. We used to say our morning prayers. We had a prayer room. And every morning, one child would read a passage and lead in prayer. We did this regularly, apart from going to church. And the moral lessons that a child learned at a very early age was greatly, the lessons were greatly emphasized in the family. So when people see my children, they wonder that these children, even from their background, because after some time, after primary school, they went abroad for secondary. Some returned to continue here. Some went abroad. They still come back and prostrate to elders. And people used to remark that these children, even though they are schooling abroad, they come home, they prostrate to greet elders. So the upbringing was quite solid.
Now, what is your favorite food?
For a long time, I was, although I was brought up to pounded yam, my mother used to cook the soup. I would grind the pepper, and then I would also pound the yam. We were eating pounded yam.
It seems to be an Ondo thing, right?
Yes, every day. But now I have a large variety.
Okay.
I'm very careful with what I eat nowadays. So I don't know if I have a favorite food now.
No. I still have so many questions for you, but we need to go on a quick break. Stay with us on the show. I've been speaking with High Chief Dr. Mrs. Winifred Awosika, the founder and chairman of Crystalline Schools. We'll be right back. You're watching the Sunday interview. I have been speaking with High Chief Dr. Mrs. Winifred Awosika, the founder of Crystalline Schools, and we've been talking about how growing up has been for her and general life experiences so far. Thank you for staying with me on the show. Now, let's look at your passion for developing the education sector and what you've done so far. What would you say really helped you to toe that line of starting your schools?
The love for children and the love to have the best in the field of education. I looked around at that time that I started Crystalline, that's 40 years ago. There were few good schools, nursery schools, nursery primary. So I believe I could contribute something to a good educational setup. So from the onset, I aimed at quality. Quality. And this has been the emphasis of our services at Crystalline.
All right, you also have a foundation. Tell us what inspired you to start it and how you've been able to use that platform to help women and children.
Yes, Winifred Awosika Foundation. You see, apart from giving scholarships, you see, in those days we were taught in church not to make any noise about what you give people. So I give, but at one stage, I said, well, we are doing so much, but let us make it more relevant. So Crystalline is a brand of good quality, but not elitist.
Okay.
So I decided to run a Scrabble competition, bringing children from private schools and children from public schools together, okay, to bridge a gap between the so-called privileged children and the so-called underprivileged children. So we started by having competitions in Lagos State, and at the end of, there was a time that a child from a public school won the prize, really? The first class prize, yes. Because we pay some people to go and teach Scrabble in all these schools. And then once a year we come together, entertain the students and give prizes. And we found that many people are interested in participating in this competition. So we have now extended it to the whole country, especially we have out of the 8 zones now we are doing only 6 zones for the time being because of prevailing circumstances now in the northeast and some areas in the country.
All right. What do you think about the state of the country's education sector?
I'm not very happy, because as a young child, I had the opportunity to travel across the river Niger. There was no bridge then, to Enugu for my intermediate, what we call intermediate degree at that time, your A levels, Nigerian College of Arts, Science and Technology. I found my way there without anybody escorting me. I felt safe. I was well taken care of. I remember one December, there were many of us, students from the West, Yorubas, who were taken to Enugu because the vacancies in Ibadan were already closed. And we decided not to come home for the Christmas holiday. We were well fed. We stayed on campus. And many of us were on scholarship.
The good old days.
In those days, we were on scholarship. People with, my father died when I was 10, but I was able to go through good schools and colleges because the government provided for us.
So what should the government of the day today do about it?
They need to provide for children to have good education. And those of us who are trying to do good, to establish good schools and colleges, should not be stifled. Nobody calls us to even put words as to our best to run good schools. There are so many restrictions, and if we are allowed to do our best, the government should look at what we are doing, encourage us, and try to do what we are doing. We should work together because we are dealing with the same society called Nigerians. So we cannot do this for all the children of Nigeria. Let's work together to promote good education, both private and public. We should do away with rules that restrict the efforts of some people who are trying to do things well.
Okay. Now, what advice do you have for the 21st century female?
Well, apart from chieftaincy matters, I've not been discriminated about. When you are good, your spirit will shine through. All this talk about the female child or male child is just an attitude being used by people to bring discrimination, which I think we can do without. Give every child the opportunity, and he will excel. Whether boys or girls, there was a time, one of our parents, when we did our prize giving day, she said, he came to me. He said, I've observed that more girls did better than the boys in their award of prizes. He said, do you look at children before you admit? I said, no. We just admit. It's just that given the opportunity, the girl will excel. So why are we emphasizing negative differences? Just leave the children, whether boys or girls, and the child will excel with his own talent and gifts. We have a child who left Crystalline. She has PhD at the age of 25.
Wow.
Just give them the chance, whether boys or girls. They will excel. Give them the opportunity, the same opportunity.
Okay. Now, what do you want to be remembered for? What do you want to be your legacy you want to leave behind?
I would like to be remembered as a loving mother a mother that loves and does everything with love in my heart. All the children of Crystalline, both past and present and future, are all my children. And I love them all. I remember them all every day. They will continue to do well and excel in every area of endeavor.
Okay. And a quick one, as Nigeria is moving closer to 2019 general election, any advice for Nigerians generally?
Well, without exposing myself to whatever, I'm not happy with the political terrain now. They are not leading the young ones aright by showing good examples. We need to check ourselves and look inward in our hearts. What are we doing to inspire the young ones? It's very important.
Thank you very much. High Chief Dr. Mrs. Winifred Awosika, Officer of the Order of the Niger. Thank you very much for featuring on our show today. It's been fun having you around.
It's nice talking to you.
And with that, we've come to the end of the Sunday interview for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, I would like to hear from you. Send your questions and inquiries to our email address is thesundayinterview@tvcnews.tv. We really love to hear from you. Until I come your way next time, I am Azizat Olaoluwa. Bye for now.